Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I want to thank the gentlelady from Indiana for yielding me the customary 30 minutes, and I yield myself such time as I may consume.
Gentleman's recognized.
Mr. Speaker, it's a new year in America, but judging by the remarks of the gentlelady from Indiana, it's the same old Republican Party. Because here's where we're at on January 7th, 2026. We have a Republican president who promised to put America first. Instead, in just under a year, he has bailed out Argentina, bombed Venezuela, gave Qatar an Air Force base in Idaho, pardoned the former Honduran drug trafficking president, and cozied up to dictators all around the world. We have a Republican majority that promised to bring down prices. Guess what? Prices are going up. Families across this country are hurting. People are losing health coverage because you guys chose deliberately, Mr. Speaker, to let the Affordable Care Act tax credits expire. Rent keeps going up, grocery prices keep going up, paychecks are not keeping pace. Meanwhile, the President of the United States is openly boasting that America is now running a foreign country. His own advisors can't even answer basic questions about what the hell comes next, what the plan is, how this ends, or when the Venezuelan people can expect democracy. And we have a Speaker of the House who is the weakest and most incompetent Speaker of the House in the history of this body. I mean, honest to God, Mr. Speaker, I don't know whether that's a good thing for the country or a bad thing. On one hand, he's so incompetent he can't get anything done. On the other hand, the things he wants to get done are crazy. You know, and don't ask him his opinion on anything. He doesn't have one. He doesn't watch the news. I don't even think he goes outside. I don't know what keeps him so busy that he doesn't have an opinion on anything, but he certainly isn't legislating. And with all that's going on, conflict, economic strain, and real crises facing the American people, let us turn to the calendar and see what important issue that this Republican majority has us debating on the floor this week, Mr. Speaker. Do you want to know what it is? Not housing, not food prices, not rent, not war and peace or foreign policy or America's future. No, 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 no. All of us are here on the floor right now at the behest of this Republican majority to debate showerheads. Showerheads. You can't make this stuff up. And as if that weren't bad enough, they're still trying to pass last year's appropriations bill. Let that sink in. Bills that should have been passed months ago. That is the state of governance under this Republican majority. Late, unserious, and completely detached from the lives of the people they claim to represent. One of these appropriation bills funds the Department of Justice and federal law enforcement. And that brings us to something Republicans would rather forget, but what our country must not. Yesterday marked the 5-year anniversary of the January 6th insurrection. 5 years since a violent mob, whipped into a frenzy by the lie that Trump won the election, even though he lost, stormed into this building to overturn a free and fair election. 5 years since law enforcement officers, Capitol Police and others were beaten, crushed, stabbed, pepper sprayed, and hunted down by a MAGA mob determined to overturn the election and stop the peaceful transfer of power. They hunted members of Congress, Democrats and Republicans alike. And I can still remember them chanting, "Hang Mike Pence," because I was here that day, Mr. Speaker. Right where you are sitting now, right in that chair. I was one of the last members to leave the House floor. And I watched officers barricade the chamber doors behind me, here, with furniture, knowing that they were outnumbered, but refusing to surrender. I mean, I smelled tear gas. I felt the chaos. I saw the mob outside of the Speaker's lobby. The officers who were here that day saved lives. They upheld their oath to the Constitution. Many of them were hospitalized. Many were permanently injured. Some died, either from injuries sustained that day or by suicide after the trauma that they endured. Nearly 2,000 people were arrested, tried, and found guilty for their crimes that day. And what did Donald Trump do? He pardoned every single one of them. He pardoned the criminals who beat officers bloody, desecrated this building, and tried to tear American democracy apart. In my book, those pardons were unforgivable, unforgivable. And you know what he did yesterday? He put up a disgusting, disgraceful statement on the official White House website, lying about what happened that day, blaming the police, and calling everyone who was here that day innocent. Not a single mention of the 140 officers who were assaulted that day with weapons like bear spray, stun guns, hockey sticks, broken pieces of furniture, and flagpoles. Not a single mention. In fact, the White House even put up a statement that, quote, 0 law enforcement officers lost their lives, end quote, which is a disgusting lie. It is a disgusting lie and a disgrace to the memory of Officer Brian Sicknick, who laid in honor in the rotunda of this Capitol building after he died in the aftermath of January 6th. And after all of that, Speaker Johnson still refuses to display a plaque in the Capitol building to honor the officers who stood up to the mob that day, a memorial he is required by law to put up. I mean, you know, here it is, Mr. Speaker. Here it is, right here. That is what the Speaker refuses to put up. This is what it looks like. It's not the real one, because the real one is downstairs in storage somewhere. Speaker Johnson refuses to hang it up, and why? And why? We all know why. We all know why. He won't hang it up because he's Donald Trump's puppet. That's all this is. If he hangs up the plaque, Trump might get mad at him. What a pathetic, shameful abdication of duty. And I'm sure the gentlelady won't address a single point I made here about January 6th. I don't know whether she's afraid of the repercussions, but the bottom line is, I just want to say for the record, shame on Republicans for trying to cover up their complicity in what happened that day. And shame on them for wasting the people's time on showerheads while ignoring the economic, democratic, and moral crises staring this country in the face. With that, Mr. Speaker, I reserve my time.